All right, so imagine you see a newspaper right at a newsstand and a headline reads, huge organization, 14 indicted, 6 arrested at charges of racketeering, wire fraud, money laundering. You probably think it was the mafia.
Or the Clintons.
Well, in this case, or the Clintons. In this case, FIFA, the ruling body of the most popular sport in the world. The arrogance now was always on display. And many of these charges, though, some people saying they're not surprising. Consider the winners of the next 2 World Cups, right? You got Russia in 2018, Russia, the same Russia with $30 billion went missing from those Sochi games, and then Qatar in 2022, where charges of slave labor haunt this nation that happens to have the highest per capita GDP in the world. So upon further review, how complicit are soccer fans? They knew that management was sleazy. They knew something was wrong, but they continue to buy into the product anyway, Noel.
Well, you know, soccer is a little different. Soccer is a culture. It's a way of life. People, you know, in families, a lot of people are very passionate and, you know, they live for soccer. We're passionate about football, baseball, whatever, but soccer is actually like a way of life. It's a very passionate
so you separate the sport from the governing body.
Well,
right?
again, I mean, to me, I can't say I was overly surprised. I mean, the egregiousness of it was, but okay, there's corruption in sports.
Yeah, you can't blame the sport or the fans.
But I'm still going to watch at the end of the day, right? I'm not going to change my behavior.
The people are fraudulent.
What are you going to watch? You're going to watch Manchester United or Madrid Real because you're sticking
local. Do you know those teams? Or you looked them up for the show?
No, I really know. Oh my God, I've seen the shirt.
All right, you probably know Ronaldo, but no one thinks so. We talk about this stuff, we complain about it. The reason it goes on, I guess, and when fans say it's no big deal or it doesn't matter, doesn't that enable or actually encourage some of these corrupt people to do this?
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's a great point because they're just given more power, more dollars spent. Obviously, you know, you hit on this, Noel, earlier in the show. But I don't think you can blame the sport. I mean, look at the NFL and Roger Goodell and all the controversy and scandal our own precious NFL went through.
Well, Tom Brady's sales have doubled since he got caught cheating.
Right.
I mean, it just shows the mentality of people that
famous dead rock stars are worth more now than they were while they were alive.
And the Clintons are tied to it, wouldn't you know?
Oh, yeah, they got $100 million from the FIFA.
So
who would have thought that the Clintons and FIFA, somehow they found each other in the middle of the night?
Okay, but here's a positive from all of it. Why now? Why suddenly all this corruption is exposed, all these arrests in Zurich? The answer is that people lose patience at a certain point. No one wants to go to Qatar for the World Cup. Everyone knows that reeks of corruption, and so you go a little too far. And
that's a good point. Because
I
have a buddy who just got back last week from Qatar. He was there for 2 years, a private contractor. And the way they treat, like, people from the Philippines, people from India, Pakistan, it's heartbreaking. These are de facto slaves. Right. De facto slaves. If you go to the game in Qatar, you have actually backed up slavery, the mistreatment of people. Amnesty International wrote a report about Qatar and the way they treat. And by the way, the highest per capita income in the world. They have more money per person than any other country in the world. That's kind of tough. You wouldn't support the game.
Every country should stand up. If America is really thinks it's this bad, they're saying we're not sending our team to Qatar. We're going to just like did in the Olympics. We're not sending our team.
The problem is, and I know this is, but the rest of the world, if the U.S. says we're not going to send our football team or soccer team to the World Cup.
I know when we had the thing with Jimmy Carter. Right. I mean, you know, we do get in this thing where people start to say you don't want to mix politics and sports too much.
But the issue is broader than just the officials or the governing bodies of all of these different, sports leagues, right? Forget whether it's FIFA or basketball or, football or Olympics or whatever else. The issue is really also the vast amount of money that gets thrown at all of these people, right?
Because it's so darn entertaining.
From the athletes to the judges or officials to everything else. And that's where this all comes from. It's just too much.
But this is actually a big, giant crime story, and it's one that involves every nation in the world. It's really intriguing. I can't wait to see what all comes of it. By the way, they're going to vote for the president of FIFA, and the guy who's running it now probably will be a runaway winner and keep the title. All right, guys.